This one begins with Grace being knocked on the head by one of the fall guys. She looks around to find everybody is waiting for breakfast. Grace joins in, to which Simon shuns her. Grace brings forward an idea. She states that Hazel is a part of the Apex, and that she is entitled to the protection of the group. Simon hates this idea, and Hazel isn't too keen on it either. She feels she isn't worthy, as the Apex is supposed to be brave, and she is afraid of it. She then looks over to Simon, who honestly looks like he is about to kill. Hazel looks over to Amelia and says she'd rather learn from her. Amelia is disturbed by this, as she has so much to do, and she can't be a caretaker, to which Hazel says Grace and Simon weren't caretakers either. Now that's cold. Amelia thinks it over and agrees to this, much to the grin of Simon and to the chagrin of Grace. The cars are about to be ejected when Grace says goodbye. This is very emotional for her, while Simon can't understand why there's so much emotion here. Simon and Grace proceed to the next car filled with origami creatures. Simon notices that Grace actually cares for the Nulls, not only with Hazel, but with the paper cranes. Simon then attempts to bring her back to herself with a speech. Just like after Tuba perished, he brings up the idea that Hazel can't hold Grace back anymore. She isn't in the mood, but Simon keeps rubbing it in her face. She's about to come to blows when she yells, "Hazel was their friend!" However, Simon was first. He flashed the projector from the last episode in her face, and she is sent back to the past. He then notices that she is at her dance recital. I like this section, as you actually get to see the major events discussed through several episodes. Grace not having her parents, being snubbed at the ice cream shop. However, there is another event not discussed with Grace's mother, who sounds just like Estelle to me.
Look at you, posting Ambassador Morris tonight.
Well, I think Stephen can do it.
Julie.
She is annoyed that she has to spend time with Grace and asks the older siblings to deal with her instead. We skip ahead to the event leading up to the train. Turns out she got caught shoplifting. Her parents come by to explain why their perfect child couldn't do such a thing. While her dad rips the guard a new one, Grace reflects on this. She only wanted to be noticed, and even that didn't work. She tries to comfort her past self, but it starts to pixelate her. Just then, the train shows up in the lobby, and even looking pretty nice too. Simon jumps in saying, "The train knew you were wasted here in the real world. It gave you a chance to go somewhere you'd be respected." Grace then wonders if Simon is selecting these clips. We then jump to the vegetable car, where Grace meets the conductor, looking even more nightmarish in these black and white visuals. Simon is amazed to see the god he always dreamt of. However, Grace corrects the vision, while Simon refuses to believe this, stating he saw the conductor's true form and the real one is fake. Really feeling like a political discussion right here. Simon then lets out all his anger, stating it's all lies, just like what the cat told him. We then see Simon's story. He is being chased by one of those roach dogs, which explains why the stuffed one was so terrifying for him. The cat escapes, but Simon is left behind. Grace, however, saved Simon. You can really see how beat up he was about losing Samantha, and it's pretty obvious he never healed from this. He then clung right to Grace instead, like a child to their mother. He notes Grace's number being up high, and they assume that's how this works, which I can't really blame them. They didn't have a guide like Jesse, and they didn't accidentally discover it like Tulip did. This had become the prevailing methodology. After that is various clips of them hanging out together and being the apex sticking together. Simon pauses it, saying, "Nice to see I wasn't the only one being lied to." Grace is furious and tries to explain the situation when the clip of Hazel turtling appears. The clip plays over and over until she cracks, even apologizing. Personally, I thought that was a bad idea, as she no longer had leverage. Plus, there is no way for Simon to see Grace's point of view if she surrenders to him. Grace, in this emotional state, then wonders if Simon would like all his painful memories to be shoved in his face as well. Simon appears to give the verdict. She betrayed Apex, but more importantly, she betrayed him. What a baby. If you look closely, this really raised his number as it's coming through on his neck. Just then, the tape eats her. He then throws her to the ground. I don't know why, but I thought she would shatter like she was made of glass in this section. Simon then takes the retrieving robots and smashes the vial by her lifeless body. And that's it. That's where they end the episode. I'm just wondering, how on earth are you going to finish this book in only one more episode? It feels like there is a lot to resolve. What happens to Hazel and Amelia? Does Simon rejoin the Apex? Is Grace lost forever in her memories? I feel like you need at least 5 more episodes to explain all this. I'd also be curious to see what Simon's story is. Seems like he was always on his own. Whenever someone came to help him, they became a mother or a father figure to him. He also hasn't grown up at all. I think that's why this is all so hard for him. This is the first time he is finding out that the truths he had been clinging to so hard are not real. It's hard, and everybody deals with it differently. Some go into denial. Others pretend it's okay as they are slowly being eaten up inside, while others end up not believing in anything. Personally, I fit in the not believing anything. There is also something there I feel I just hooked on to. The lower the number you get, the more you have learned, as well as grown as a person. However, the Apex is the opposite of that. It's all about denial, living in a fantasy that doesn't exist, and never growing up as a person. I'll end the introspection here before it becomes a full-blown video essay. All the same, this is quite a deep subject to tackle for what would be considered a kid's show. Like the last episode, the car itself is thrown to the side to bring a very deep and thought-provoking story. I still haven't run into the crystal car or family tree car, so I really hope this last episode doesn't turn out to be just that. Of course, hey, there's so much going for it, I don't think there can be a bad episode. All the same, I hope you will join me for the exciting conclusion.